Although it was a small plane, it was a huge fireball, a great deal of damage, and a lot of smoke that could be seen for a mile at least. We're told that paramedics have set up a triage center at the scene. Right now they have no idea how many are injured, how many patients they have. We haven't been able to confirm that, but again, dozens are out. They've been evacuated. Neighboring buildings have been evacuated. People just standing around watching the scene and actually waiting to be told what to do.
And among those who is standing by is KVUE's Noelle Newton. She's there near the scene. Hi, Noelle. Can you tell us what you know from there?
Hi, y'all. Well, we've been out here. We were the first crew on the scene today, and I have to tell you, I'm still shaking. It was a very frightening scene. There was a massive hole on the first floor of the building you see behind me here with all the flames coming out of it. We've just seen the windows bursting out, debris flying all over the place. We're not sure, if people have died in this instance, but that certainly crosses your mind. I just don't know how people could have gotten out fast enough. We've spoken to witnesses who say that this plane just came straight into the building really hard, and he was afraid that just no one could have escaped this. Now, we found some people who were in buildings right next to this one. We have Eric and Ty here with us. So, Eric, you said you saw some people running out of the building.
We were in the FBI building next door with the Online Trading Academy, and the entire building shook. When we evacuated, we witnessed the other building being evacuated as well. Some people were running, some people were peeling out of their cars, and we could see smoke coming out of the back end of the building. It was very traumatic.
I know, Eric, what is your feeling? These people went to work just like you did this morning. Is that crossing your mind at all?
Well, absolutely. I'm sort of praying that the entire bottom floor at least had the day off and had a vacation day of some sort, because it's pretty bad in there. And then, thank God, the other floors were evacuated. I hope nobody else was in there.
And then, Ty, you said that even though you didn't see the plane crash, you felt it.
Yes, I was in the middle of teaching a stock trading class to our students at the Online Trading Academy, and as soon as we heard the building rock, and then the projector and the slides were moving. I've been teaching it for a while now, so it's the first time I felt that. I knew that the building just couldn't shake like that. I thought it was an earthquake or something, and I know Austin doesn't have that. So what I did was, when our center administrator Elizabeth came in and told us that we had to evacuate the building, I just ran and grabbed my laptop, and we came outside and grabbed the camera and started filming it, because things like this, when I heard that a plane was flying into the building after 9/11, you don't have time to play around. When somebody says that, you get moving and you think about surviving this. And I'm glad that everybody made it out of our building, out of building 3, okay. You guys are not going to see anything come out of the backside right here, because there's no back doors in the building. The door's on the other side. But as soon as we came outside, there was a fire truck out here already. Actually, they were actually out here before the FBI even came out here. So I was really shocked, because the FBI's in our building. But anyway, they came over there and they started getting people out, and the people inside building 3 came out. There's 4 floors in each one of these buildings, and the whole second floor is completely burnt out.
Thank you so much, Ty. Now, these two folks are just one of hundreds that we've seen lined up here along the side. I don't know if we can bring the camera over here just to show you all of the people. And, of course, everyone is so concerned just watching this thing. We've seen people lined up all along the highway, too, from other businesses. We're hearing that businesses across the street. See, just across the street is a shopping center. And in some of the restaurants, people were saying they even felt the buildings shake. So this was a really hard impact, and we're just hoping right now that everyone pulls through.
Hey, you see that car right there?
No, well,
on that yet.
And the question, you raised that issue of that young man who stole a plane around the time of 9/11 and had crashed into an office building. We don't know if this was actually an experienced pilot, or it could be that this plane was taken by someone who didn't know how to fly. It's about 15 to 20 minutes, this building, from where the airport, we would assume if it was a departure, the flight came from. And that is a very busy airport, and these skies are busy as well. The important thing is the firefighters seem to have gotten on the scene, John, very, very quickly. And actually, what happens from here, to answer some of those questions, we have Peter Goals with us, the former managing director for the NTSB. And Peter, I wanted to ask you this question, because it's interesting when you see these pictures and you see the flames now getting under control, but they were tremendous, engulfing this building, and there were reports that the entire front part of this structure collapses and people were working inside, although although the evacuations are underway. How much information should we know at this point? How much should be released? If the airport confirms that they're the closest airport, should they tell us more at this point, what they know about this plane?
Well, I think everyone's in the information gathering stage right now. And, if the plane was on approach to Bergstrom, then, they will, the FAA will announce that. They would have been in contact with the tower, and, there might have been clearances given. I would think within the next hour or so, we'll know, what the tail number of the plane was and what size plane it was. And that'll give you an indication of how much fuel it was carrying. But remember, in general aviation, the overwhelming majority of accidents take place on takeoff and landing, and the overwhelming majority of accidents are pilot error. That's what you start out with. Now, we don't know what the weather was. We don't know if there was a Mayday call or not. So it's really early in the process.
Oh, so it's interesting to note then that it wouldn't be standard operating procedure to know exactly at this point what this airport knew about this particular aircraft. What we are hearing from a reporter on the scene, and this is in our urgent queue, and this is all happening now as everyone can see from the pictures, that there are dozens of fire trucks on scene and that police are still shutting down surrounding roads. It's 360 and 183, which are the main thoroughfares there. And they're saying that the danger is lessening. John was talking about the likely fate of the pilot in this particular crash. It does seem to have done substantial damage to the building. Will there be enough for investigators to come in and determine what will be their steps that they'll take initially to determine why this happened?
Well, if it is a single-engine plane, they don't have black boxes, the voice recorder or the data recorder. So this will be an old-fashioned investigation in which you'll look at the wreckage, what there is of it left. You'll do an extensive check into the pilot's background and his capabilities. You'll look at the weather. You'll examine the engines of the plane to see whether he was getting his power. It's a pretty old-fashioned investigation. And then you'll come up with a probable cause, and I would underscore the term probable. Because, in these kinds of investigations, it's not 100%.
Well, we should say that the FBI is saying that at this point they don't believe terrorism is involved. And thanks, because we have Wes Walters on the phone from Wes Walters Realty. That's right across the street from this fire in Austin, that a small plane has crashed into a 7-story office building. Wes, what can you tell us about what you've seen and heard and how everyone is doing in the area?
Well, I didn't hear anything, but our windows look directly to that office building. We're directly across the street. And we immediately started seeing the first responders, ambulance, fire. When we saw that there was a lot of smoke right there coming out of the parking lot, we went up on our 3rd story. We have a 3-story office building. We went up on the roof and saw that the tremendous amount of black smoke, a lot of fire. The fire looked like it was engulfed at least 2 stories. And, that was when the insulation and the windows were out. We saw a tremendous amount of smoke and a lot of fire. It burned for a good 20 to 30 minutes before they could get water on it.
Wes, are you seeing that most of the people are out of the building and standing around? Are you seeing people that are still in the building trying to get out?
Don't see anyone in the building. The parking lots, the neighboring surrounding parking lots are full of people just standing. This is heavily... there's 7 or 8 or 10 office buildings on this one little street. It's only basically 2 blocks long, and the parking areas are full of people onlooking.
And in terms of the emergency response, what are you seeing there now? Are you seeing that they are still actively battling these blazes? Because we've heard, and I don't know if you have a view of the front of this building, but it's been reported that the entire front part of the structure collapsed. You're saying the fire was limited to basically 2 floors at this time. Is it growing? Could that be just from the impact of the plane?
The building structurally still looks like it's intact.
Interesting.
It's an eerie feeling back to 9/11 where you had a collapse, but the building itself is intact. structurally. It's just all the windows are out. The impact obviously was on the north side of the building. We are facing on the south side.